Hey yo, what's good, guys? Smoking the Contrast Comedy. I'm your boy Teddy B,
And I'm Jerry Corley, aka the Joke Doctor.
and I'm AKA the Joke Doctor's assistant, working on getting my Joke Doctor's license.
Are you gonna donate your organs on that license?
No, I'm not donating my organs on that license because I don't want them to take it, even if I just get in a minor car accident. So I want to
That's
keep
right.
my organs together. But yeah, today's episode, we're actually going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to pull the middle part of the podcast and put that up in the beginning because we want to let you guys know about the top 10 comedians that made the most money in 2024 based off of Billboard on tickets sold. And you're going to be surprised who's number one. Hell,
At the box office. These are box office grosses. These are box office grosses. Yeah.
And you're going to be surprised at who's number one. Hell, you're even going to be surprised at who's on the list. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the episode.
Now one that's so that's so interesting because I didn't really have much of an agenda to talk about today, except the one thing I wanted to talk about was the report came out from Billboard this year or for this year on the top performing artists.
Drake and Taylor.
In live, and I'm talking specifically for comedy. Highest grossing comedy tours 2024, going from
Nate
10
Bargatze.
to number one. Number one, yeah, we'll start with number 10.
Okay.
Number 10. And most people will not believe who number one is, even though you just did a spoiler alert. So and so did I, based on that. So anyway, so it's like, but here's what I love. So many people say that you can't make money in comedy, right?
Right.
And it's being proved otherwise time and time again now. And especially people have more control with their phone, and they can develop their audience on their own and have the power if they decide they want to have the patience and the consistency. That's all they need is patience, consistency,
Consistency is
content.
really big. Yeah.
And it's like, and that's something, I get busy. I don't always have time to create content,
Yeah.
right? So, but here it's like, get ready to be inspired because last year, comedians raked in $396.7 million in 2024, which is a, 52% increase from last
52%
year,
increase
from
Dang.
2023. So that's big deal, right? So top 10. At number 10, Joe Coy, same position he was last year. But here's what's interesting, right? 26 million with 368 tickets sold over 83 shows. So what I love about that is people were after the Golden Globes, people were saying, "Do you think his career is over?" I said, "No, man.
Probably
They're gonna
not.
they're gonna edit and clean up his video. They're gonna put it back up there. Hey, Coy at the Golden Globes, and we're just gonna hear him doing well, right?
Yeah.
They sweetened it. You saw I saw the original cut,
Yeah,
and
they
then
added
I
that
saw
laugh
him,
track.
and they added the laugh track and cut out Taylor Swift's joke. So that might have had, but he crushed it. He was out there and went out there. Now he's internationally famous, right? He bombed on a global scene. And this is a lesson, I think, for comics, because I know comics who have gone and bombed in a very obscure setting and never got back on stage again, or, for years.
So that's all in their head.
One guy I know didn't get back on stage for like 30 years because he felt so humiliated. And I was like, dude, you're nowhere. Nobody even knows about that, right? And get back up there. Coy does it on the Golden Globes internationally, gets back out there and makes $26 million.
Yeah.
So that's number 10. Number nine. Who do you think is number nine? You won't even guess. You'll never guess.
Taylor Tomlinson.
All males, by the way, in
This
this
is
list.
all males on this
All
list.
males hit the top grossing box
Tony
office.
Hinchcliffe.
No. Adam Sandler.
That fool still does.
Yeah, wild, right? Again,
that
what I love
fool
about that, the Sandman, most comics do films, get into films, and they never go back to stand up again. Adam Sandler goes back out on the road and listen to the numbers. Tell me
Interesting.
what's significant about these numbers. He pulled in $27.7 million in just 26 shows. What's the math?
He's charging like like 1,000 or something. Like he's charging a lot of money for those tickets.
Well, that all depends on what size the arena is, right?
Mhm.
So it's definitely probably high price tickets, but that's over $1 million a show.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
basically.
right. 27.7 and 26 shows.
So that's about $1 million
These are
a show.
now this is
Yeah.
gross. Now what I love
Damn.
about so that $1 million a show, because if you look at the numbers, 26 shows, dude, that's every other week, right? It's like that's
Mm-hmm.
not a grueling schedule. Jerry Seinfeld at number 8,
Dang, still doing it.
27.8 million after and he had 199,000 tickets sold. And why I'll tell you why I'm telling the numbers, because
Right.
this is actually going to be significant later.
Okay.
And it'll make your eyes pop, right? So that's how significant that's why I'm hitting the number of tickets sold.
Okay.
So across 36 shows,
Mm.
again, Seinfeld not doing he's not doing he's not grueling schedule, 36
No.
shows. So let's
When is he
we
doing the
could
same jokes for all 36 shows?
he changes them up a little bit, but yeah, he'll add maybe he's got a couple of new ones. But remember, it's
Yeah, for
not
all those years he was
all
doing the
these
same
years had the
fucking
same
set
act for
until he
25
retired
years.
it with that book. Is
Yeah.
this you think this is funny or something like that?
So, and is this anything?
Is
Yeah,
this
is
anything?
this
Yes,
anything?
which is actually
Uh,
a good book. I prefer listening to it in Audible because he actually reads it. So then you
oh,
get to
that's
hear his
cool.
cadence and all that shit
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So coming in and Ashley Gutermuth.
Yeah, she won the contest because
She
of
won
it.
the contest on the Tonight Show for
Yeah.
that. Show clips of Trevor Noah and Bert Kreischer. And she says, "Can I say I appeared on the Tonight Show?" I said, "Yeah, you can, because they show you on the Tonight
Nice show.
Show. It was a video of you in the contest, but still,
Yeah.
that was during pandemic. They were showing a video of Jerry Seinfeld. He was basically podding in as well, wasn't he? Coming in there, so simulcast again, live streaming,
Live
right?
shit. Simulcast.
Zoom, right?
Nobody
So
uses Skype, but Skype is still around. I'm like,
Skype
what
is
the
still around,
fuck,
man,
man? Like, who
right?
the fuck uses Skype?
And
Skype's like the AOL of fucking video chatting.
without a doubt, and shame on you, Microsoft, for letting Zoom just come in there and
They
just
just
like
straight.
boom, take you out. You're the one with the billions. You could have just
Skype pops
handled
up and
that.
people just immediately be like, delete. Oh,
Delete. That's right.
Microsoft is trying to force Skype on you and they still can't win.
That's right. And Google Meetups. Remember that? That
Oh
was
yeah,
like
nobody uses that shit,
some people
man.
still do. It's still coming back because you know why? Because their video algorithm has gotten better.
But
So Zoom was
they're
like, what's bad about these guys? Their video is not good. So Zoom figured out an algorithm to compress the compression algorithm that really keeps the video looking as good as it can, plus filters and all that. Now they're gamifying it with reactions. So I think that's a positive. But number 7 and number 6 tied for the same amount of money, Trevor Noah and Bert
Mhm.
Kreischer.
Interesting.
They each grossed nearly about 29.7 million, right? So about 30 million each, racking up 94 shows. Each got 30 million. Trevor Noah did 94 shows to hit 30 million. Bert
Damn.
did it in 64. So, and if you ask most people out there, most lay people out there, who's Bert? Hey, did you hear Bert Kreischer? Bert Kreischer was like number 6, number 7 in the gross most paid or most performing, highest paid performers on the road, gross, the type of money they brought into the box office, if I could say what I'm trying to say, right? So, and most people go, who's Bert Kreischer?
Yeah, seriously. It's all Bert Kreischer. He's making that money because of his podcast and then the fans that he
Yes,
has from his podcast. Because
absolutely. So
I
that's a
don't think he's funny
message.
at all.
This is where comedians, I think, fuck up. This is where they don't do this research. They don't read this stuff, right?
Mhm.
They're like, oh, okay, whatever. And a lot of people just get jealous, right? There's some people who actually get jealous that somebody's successful rather than examining the trajectory and then the details of what's getting them there, right? So
Right.
it's like, and it should send off a signal. It should send off fucking fireworks, a flare, something that says, do something. Social media, get out there, get
Yes.
exposure. He's driven this through his cult following and his fucking podcast.
Yep.
Same thing with Shane Gillis. Same thing with Nate Bargatze, who we'll get to in a moment. All right. So, and it's like he's a nobody, and he's like he's the only comedian that made $29.7 million, and
That's
everybody is
wild.
is a nobody. It's like people when people said. I didn't mean to say he's the only comedian. I said the interesting part is so many people say, who's Bert Kreischer? Oh, he's only a comedian that made $30 million at the box office last year,
That's
which is not bad
crazy.
for nobody. Number 5, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
So he's 36.5 million. And then we got number 4. Guess.
Joe Rogan.
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay's a comedian?
Cat
Oh,
Williams.
Cat Williams. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
like,
So
what's up,
Cat
Shay?
Williams did 37.5 million with his 60 shows.
Damn.
60 shows, 37.5 million. So basically, I think that Club Shay Shay podcast where he was at 3 hours and
Negro
basically
Dom
got
is just straight saying
90
it.
Negro Thomas.
Negro
That's
Dom is just straight
hysterical, dude.
saying everything about Hollywood, man.
That's
He's
right.
letting it
90
out.
million views on that podcast. So I think during that pop, right, of
Mhm.
popularity, he and not that he doesn't do well on the road, but I think this is this is big for him, right?
Yeah. Plus,
So
he had that Netflix is a joke. Netflix is a joke is out here in LA, and a lot of people showed up for that
right.
special that he
That's
did.
right. So good for Cat
Mhm.
because a lot of people, some people have this like, he's not even funny sort of thing. That last special I saw he did, I was like, "Oof, what
Same
happened
here.
there?" But then somebody said there's a new one out that he's doing, and he thought that was good, so I'm going to check that out because I like Cat Williams. At number 3, number 4, it was Cat Williams. Number 3, Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy.
Fluffy's
Uh,
gonna do the thing.
42.8 million, 124 shows. So number 2,
Joe Rogan.
just a live performance. You kidding me? Who would go see him?
Everybody that watches
Yeah.
the Joe Rogan experience,
They'll
JREX, or
talk.
whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it's called.
he's trying to now cop what what's his name did. Who was the white dude? Oh geez, I
Tony.
drove him.
Oh,
He
oh,
EIB, excellence in broadcasting.
Bill O'Reilly.
No,
Uh,
fat guy.
oh, the dude who he died too. He had
Yeah,
heart
yeah.
issues. Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh. So Rush, he's like he's now Joe Rogan's starting to like GRE or JRE or something like that. Rather it's trying to do those initials like the EIB network. Well, good for him. He's got a huge following, right? And
Yes.
he's but talking about me being a conspiracy theorist. Good God. And that guy's not a conspiracy theorist, a sellout. But Rogan, on the other thing, if I had the opportunity to be on a show, I would love to be on a show,
Mhm.
right? Talking about comedy and blow his mind because he doesn't
Just doesn't
understand
understand it.
why shit works. And that would he'd be
You
like,
mean
oh,
I
wait a
just
second.
can't make faces and make fork
Yeah,
sounds?
and fuck a stool, and that becomes my act out. Um, uh, but not that fucking a stool can't be funny, but turn it over and sit on it, dude. That would be more. We'd get a better piece of entertainment watching you do that because that's what you do every time you're on the stage anyway. You fuck yourself in the ass. It's like so. It's like number 2, Matt Rife. Now listen to the numbers here.
I was gonna know shit. I was going to say that
I
right.
knew it. I knew it. That's why I was holding. I was like,
I was gonna
it's right at
say
the tip of your tongue. I know
Matt
it is.
Rife.
Yeah.
That fool just got put in a movie that was horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
this is where Matt Rife has to be careful. I'll tell you why. Let's listen to the numbers. So he's the only one on this list that broke the 20-year rule. Everybody else has been doing comedy more than 20 years. Matt Rife
Mhm.
has only been doing it 12.
Huh.
And he hit $57.5 million in 256 shows.
Yeah.
Dude, 733,000 tickets sold, but 256 shows. He had to go into the hospital twice for exhaustion, and
Damn.
he canceled a couple of times, right? And my medical team. You don't have a fucking medical team, dude.
His
You're a
mom.
comedian, right? Your mom told you to get some rest. It's like his doctor, my medical team. But it was like, and I'm thinking,
WebMD.
dude, listen, for years, for 20 years, I was doing 26 years. I was doing 43 weeks a year, pretty much 8 shows a week.
Mhm.
So that's about 340 shows, right? And it's like every year, right?
Right.
That was what I was doing. And it was like not once did I think I better go to the hospital for exhaustion. One time I went, oh shit, I better not drink so much.
That's
I got to
right.
get up and drive to the next town, right? So it's like, and I'm driving myself. I'm not, doing on the road, the grind,
You
right?
have a freaking tour bus with a tour
Right.
bus driver and
So
groupies and all this other
yeah,
shit.
here's the deal. you're doing more than just doing your hour on stage or even hour and a half. I would do hours and a half on the
Mhm.
stage, right? And be like, my longest was 3.5 hours, and that was at the University of Montana or Bozeman, right? So, and they still wanted me to stay. So I was like, no, I gotta go, dude. I did 3.5 hours. They were like, come out of the bar and drink with us. So I did. But still, he's doing something. He's either fucking too much, partying too much. But dude, dial it back. 256 shows is not for you. It's for
Nah.
them. They want the commission on that. You got to take care of yourself here. And it's like I don't want the dude. I mean, he's not my favorite comedian, but I don't want any comedian being taken advantage of and
Facts.
and and fucked up the ass by the institutions that want to make money from him. And it's like he's got to dial it back a little bit and take care of himself, I think. Now, number one on the list, and this is why we did like we looked at Matt for $57.5 million. Congratulations on that take.
Yeah,
That's a
good
lot of
stuff.
money.
Good stuff, Squidward.
733,000 tickets. Cut to Nate Bargatze telling stories. Da da da, drum roll. $82.2 million. Set a record, all-time record. Nobody's hit that before. $82.2 million, over 1.1 million tickets sold in
Damn.
just 148 shows.
Damn.
So almost half the shows of Matt Rife, not quite half the shows, but like
75.
148, right?
Yeah.
75% of those shows, 65% of those shows.
65, yeah.
So, and easygoing storytelling. And this is a very interesting take because we're in a time of in this era right now where people don't want tension. You know, a lot of people just kind of want to just relax a little bit when they go to show and laugh. And I think it's showing. And Nate Bargatze's getting up there, getting 82.2, selling 1.1 million tickets and 148 shows. And this is why I wanted to cover this because if you want to talk about what the possibilities are when comedians don't think, because sometimes comedians don't think about this, right?
No, they
They
don't.
don't think about the business side of this, and the business side is that these guys can you can actually make additional money and doing what? Where do we make the extra money?
You make the extra money doing selling merch, doing your podcast and all that stuff like that, but mainly just selling merch, right?
Merch, dude, merch. So let's take a look real fast at and because comedians need to know this, right? Comedians need to know that where they can make, what the business is, and the business is, and a lot of comedians don't. I remember some guy getting on my case one time years ago selling merch. I go, every artist does it who is a pro, because this is show business, bro. This is not. I
Yeah,
want to
that's why
do
business
jokes
is
and
in
make
all
friends
caps.
and a business is in all caps. So let's look at this. So I did a little research that these guys, for the most part, make an extra $10 to $30 per ticket sold. Remember we talked about the numbers of tickets sold? Why
Right?
that was so important? Because now we
Hmm.
could do some simple math. If we go Nate Bargatze, $10 to $30 per ticket sold 1.1 million tickets. He made an extra in just merch, 11 to 33 million
Jesus
dollars
Christ.
over and above the 82,
Ugh.
right? So over and above the 82 million. So he probably made over $100 million. And I know those Midwest people love
Love
to
buy
buy
merch.
merch. Matt Rife, 733 ticket, 1,000 tickets sold. He got 7.33 to 22 million more dollars in merch. So that's you can just check that chart out and see
That
all
is
the
insane.
possibilities, right? So anywhere the lowest is 1.99 to $5.97 million, and that's Jerry Seinfeld. So he's actually on here the lowest number of tickets sold,
Yeah. Huh.
but
Oh,
still he was number eight, right, in the list.
yeah.
Yeah, number eight. So Seinfeld, despite the fact he had the lowest numbers of tickets sold, his
He's
prices
still
were
selling
probably up
merch.
there, still making $30 million in and still kind of selling. He is low because his tickets are low, low ticket sales comparatively, and then so 1.2 million to $6 million
Yeah.
in
Because it's
in
either
merch.
boomers go into the shows and they got to worry about their social security. Oh, by the way, cats with a K, not a C, sir.
I wait, what? Did I have cat with a
You
K, a
had cat
C?
with a C.
Oh, that was dumb because everywhere else I have it, it's with a K.
Okay, yeah.
And
On
I
that
think
chart,
there
you had
was
it with a
a,
C.
I think that was
Damn
just that was
autocorrect.
spell check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
spell check. That or
And cat is
for
two T's, right?
yeah, KATT. Because
Yeah,
originally he was
that was
supposed to be
definitely
cat
spell
and he
check.
wanted to be cat in the hat. That's how he wanted to be, but
Yeah,
they wouldn't
that's
let
what I
him do
heard.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
man. So
shit's
that
insane. Where's so if there was probably like a top 20, you would think like Gaffigan would probably be in like the in the teens or something like that. Because I
well, it
would figure
depends
he'd
on if
still
he's
be doing
touring, right?
all those kids, you think he would still be touring shit.
Yeah, well, because it's like a lot of times they're not like heavy touring. He
Hmm.
could be, maybe he's working on the new segment, right?
Hmm.
And new piece, but heavy touring. It's like heavy petting.
Heavy petty,
So here,
heavy
just
breathing.
to clear my name, if we look at right there, it says Cat Williams.
I see. I got it right here.
Cut to Cat Williams on stage. It's right there. I just want to make sure you know. I wasn't being just a
Ah.
hooded wearing white dude. So that's, man, when I saw that data, I'm like,
That's
don't just look at the
insane.
table and go, oh, that's nice. Investigate, get in there and start looking at that. Because when you start looking at that, what is your brain doing? It's manifesting,
Yep. And
right?
then you start
So
working in the back, getting your stuff ready for that stuff.
Einstein said every idea wants to manifest itself into the physical realm,
Yeah.
right? Now, back in the day when I was hitting the road and I was on the road a lot, and I was 100% money was taking care of my rent and my nut. So I would look at my earnings. I'd look at my nut, what I needed to make rent and everything, pay everything,
Right.
and I would actually write it down. All right, so I need $5,000 or $5,500 to make this month, and this is back in like '90s,
Okay.
right? So, or this is after yeah, early when I just first started hitting the road. And so I need this money to make my nut. And when it was, so it was so wild that I would write that down. And then I'd write down, okay, where am I now? How much do I need to make by what date?
Hmm.
And so I would put that down. And then lo and behold, and I read this in a book somewhere, like Notebook or some bullshit like that, right?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, whatever. And but manifest, right? So when I put it down there, it never failed. It never fucking failed. I would be like, okay, I need to make 1,200 in the next week to get this to make my nut. And I get a little nervous, right? Am I going to have to drive a limo or something like that? Well,
Yeah.
because a friend owned a limo company, I could always pick up those shifts or whatever. And then I was like, and then my phone would ring, and it would be one of the bookers I work with. Hey, Jerry, we got a last minute thing here. We had to drop out. Could you cover this? And do this. What's the money? 1,200.
So that's what I needed.
It'd be just over what I needed or something like
Yeah.
that. I go, holy shit, it's so fucking amazing how that happens. Now,
Yeah.
if only I could do that with pussy, that would be,
For reals, man.
you know.
For reals.
So
Be
anyway,
manifesting our shit all the time.
but to comics, any comics out there, study the dudes who are working, and it'll start to generate stuff in your brain. Now, as I'm starting to get back out and do some more stuff, again, I don't think I'll be hitting the road like I was back in the day, but I want to say shit that means something. And it's like,
Yes.
because I've been doing corporates, been doing Zoom corporates, and that's fine. And it's entertaining, and people are getting some valuable skills from it because they're still talking about it over at Kaiser. They want to bring me back, so that's
There you
good.
go. That's
My money will
awesome.
go up for that one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go. So they gave me 40. And that was 5 years ago, five,
Mhm.
6 years ago, before the pandemic. So they paid
Inflation,
me
man.
40.
Inflation.
65,
Blame it
man.
on inflation.
65.
Yes.
That's my quote.
If egg prices are going up, my
That's
comedy
right.
prices going
Yeah,
up.
I got my bill for my insurance. It was like $200, $258 more
Ugh.
this year than it was last year. It's like per month. So I was like, what the fuck? Right? And it's
Yeah.
like so I'm like, I'm gonna bill Kaiser an extra.
Yeah.
They almost like doubled it. So I just went from 40 to 65. We'll see what
See what they.
see what happens. See if they answer.
That's man. And then it's like freaking Trump doing all that shit. I mean, like medical's not gonna get any cheaper now either because he
No,
just
man.
basically revoked all that shit, man.
Oh man.
It's
And
wild.
all these people complaining. That's like about it, and we'll see what happens. This is gonna be crazy, crazy times.
Crazy
But
times,
that's
but
where
great for
this is
comedy.
great for comedy. So get out there and
Yeah.
do be funny and start looking at what other people are making and start manifesting that for yourself. And I think that's
Seriously.
there's a possibility. So speaking of which, what have you been doing to put your what goals are you trying to reach right now and what's the deadline?
Uh, no deadlines as of right now. Like there's like basically one of my main goals for 2025 was just to do more comedy shows, which I'm actually doing, putting my name out there. One of my main goals is I want to start producing my own show,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah, yeah.
like find a brewery or restaurant or somewhere where I actually have like a steady place to do my stuff that also gives me more time to do it. Putting together my submission because I finished the late night comedy course. So putting together a submission and actually sending it out and see if I can start getting paid for my jokes. Uh,
What more do you need to see in that course? Just a quick off the. What more would you like to see in that course? Because I'm
uh,
revising it. I'm doing a revision of it, and I would
Perfect. Yeah,
it's perfect thing to
I
ask.
think I guess more of like because it's like you sit there and say that you got to watch the like watch them, but it's like you watch them and it's still like because like I watch a lot of Seth because I like Seth, and then I'm like trying to like and I think I'm kind of getting to where I'm like writing the jokes like how he would do it or like writing the jokes for him, but I would think like having like a little bit of like you breaking down like okay this is how you
Yeah,
got to write
watch to break
as
down.
yeah like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
you do it because you can sit there and tell someone to watch him and then they're watching them but it's like okay how do I actually like get
Fuck
into
yeah.
that mode to like do that?
Definitely. I'm gonna show them, I'm gonna give them a walkthrough of the watch to break down and to break down individual jokes and then show at least what I used to do to basically kind of because at first when I started to do it, I'd
Mhm.
watch I was told by Gene Parrott, watch Johnny Carson's monologue, transcribe it. And then like feel the rhythm of it. He was a lot about feeling rather
Yeah.
because he didn't know the structures. He didn't have labels for the structures. But even though he was the best joke writer in Hollywood, but he knew the structures intuitively, and you'll see him in his workbooks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I got
And he
those
has kind of
workbooks.
names for him. But so when I would watch Johnny Carson, what I started to sort of learn from osmosis, if you will. I'd get the feel for it, sort of like Buddy Rich playing the drums.
Hmm.
He never could read a lick of music, but he could get a feel for it, and he could play the fuck out of shit. He was one of the best drummers of all time. So, but I would watch it, and then the next day I would hear my own. I would look at the headlines, and I'd feel myself doing almost a Carlin impression, right?
Right.
Is that weird? That is so weird. And then do like this lady in Minnesota, and that sort of thing. And I would that's kind of how I would do the joke. And so the feel would get me there. Still, the jokes were a little long. I didn't know the structure I was using.
Right.
Once was able to identify the structure, oh, the three-way buildup. Oh, that's a compare and contrast. Oh,
Mhm.
that's a the good news is, the bad news is, and that sort of
Yes.
thing. I was like, oh shit, why are those getting more laughs? And as soon as I started to identify that, I was able to like isolate more. So I think if I watch Seth and I show a breakdown from Seth to Jimmy Fallon to
Hmm.
Jimmy Kimmel, because especially Kimmel and Colbert, who are more into storytelling mode now, goofy
Right.
storytelling mode. And then there's Bill Maher. Um, so what the hell's up with that guy? I think the thing that where I started to turn with Bill Maher, it's like, well, I think you remember the story when I was at the
Yes.
bar after a
Yes.
divorce at the Improv, and then Bill Maher sitting at the edge of the bar with a hooker, and oh, I'm sorry, call girl. I'm sorry,
Lady of the Nights.
escort. Right, a working gal. And again, I have no disparagement
Yeah,
towards
get it where
women
you
who
got to get
are
it.
using their golden thing to get the gold. They should be able to do that and they should be
Oldest
protected.
profession in the world.
And they
Oldest
should be
profession in the
fucking
world.
protected. Fuck
Damn
those
straight.
motherfucking white people who are scared of women having the power. Like, so what, man? You gotta pay for it. Pay for it, dude. You should be
You
paying
got it,
for it
man.
anyway. That's precious.
You pay exactly.
And
Paying for it
I
anyways.
think if the disparagement and the casting aspersions was taken away from that profession, women who have to wind it because men trap them. And because they want to feel powerful, right? Men trap women and they give the, oh, you don't have to go to school. I'll take care of you for divorce. And next thing you know, they're on their own. They have no skill set because the husband said you're covered forever. Same thing,
Right.
dads do that too, right? With their young daughters. And it's like, you don't have to do anything. They're not fucking them, but they say, maybe they are, but they
Pulling a
don't
Woody Allen.
say, yeah, they don't say, get a skill set, be
Yeah.
independent. Their grandmothers are saying, find a man with a business,
Find a
and
man
it's
with a
like,
lot of money.
well,
Get
what
yourself a
if
doctor, a
now
lawyer.
they're stuck, right? And
Yeah.
so if they have to go, if their only thing they could do is sell it, and that's how they can make some money. If we take that casting and that aspersion away from that, then there won't have be as many mental health issues from that.
Mm-mm.
Because
No.
it'd be like that's a guy. Well, like how many guys go fuck? I'm all fucked up in the head because I fucked 160 women in my life. You know, I don't know any guy that has done that.
No. Yeah,
And it's
like
like
yes.
there's no
That
rock
one chick
star
is
saying
fucked up right now because
I
she
am
fucked
so
over a
messed up
hundred
because
dudes and
I
she's
I
all fucked
fucked
up
like
in the head.
300 women in my life. You never saw Wilt Chamberlain go 50,000 women. Oh, I'm so messed
God,
up. I'm
man.
gonna put a bullet in my head. Right? Nobody's saying that, right?
Nah,
But if we
you got
take that
fuck boys
aspersion out of
idolizing
there,
them.
yeah, that woman, the women would be more, and I think that should be a positive. So
100%.
that being said, he was there at the bar, and was going through a divorce. I was feeling kind of shitty and dejected, but I just had my set on stage. It went okay, and the comic comes up to me, "Hey, man, are you really getting a divorce?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, I went through one. It sucks, man." I go, "Oh, man, yeah, it's weird. I didn't think it would have this impact on me." And then Bill Maher's like, "Oh, another guy being emasculated by a woman." I said, I'm going to take advice from a guy who's the best compliment he's ever paid to a woman is to leave an extra $100 on the nightstand. Go fuck yourself, right?
Uh,
And he was just like touche, and I was like, all right, he said touche to that, all right. And then later on, I shouldn't have said that to him. There's no reason to get mad, but I was
he caught you at a
brokenhearted,
bad time, man.
right? But then he was doing a podcast with Jim Gaffigan,
Hmm.
and Jim Gaffigan says, Jim Gaffigan, a smart dude, right? Is like, yeah, it's like what I like about the Tonight Show is each one has what I'm liking about the late night shows now is like each one of those guys has a unique voice. They each have a different take. And Bill Maher goes, they don't have a take. I'm the only one with a take. I'm like,
Yeah. The
what?
liberals really fucking the
What the
Republicans.
fuck? What the fuck are you talking about, dude? You're the only one with a take? Because he thinks because he's on HBO, that gives him the freedom to have a more of a broad, I guess, a more chancy, dangerous,
Dicey,
edgy
more in your face.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell it
than
like it
a
is.
person who's captured by the,
I watch
held.
more John Oliver than I watch Bill Maher.
Love John Oliver, man. What is his main structure?
His main structure is analogies.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yeah.
that's something I was doing was because you say like you took some of the transcripts of the guys, or I would transcript some of them, and then I would go through them and I would write out which what structures I think they're using and all that shit like that, which
And,
helps
and
nails it in.
And watch the way he has like 12 different ways he gets into the analogy too. So
Yeah.
we know an analogy generally is an is like, but sometimes he says it in a way where it finesses it doesn't sound like an analogy because there's no is like there.
Right.
And it's like and the way he says it is still an analogy. He's comparing two ideas and then showing their similarities.
Right.
So if you think of those two basic rules of comedy, a lot of comedy is taking two ideas that are
yep.
dissimilar and showing how similar they
They
are, or two ideas that are dissimilar and or two ideas that are dissimilar showing how similar they are, or two ideas that are similar and showing how different they are. So it's like we see that with compare and contrast and analogy.
Yep.
So if you know this stuff, man, you can start building those jokes, leading comparisons. My wife and I have incompatible sleeping arrangements. She likes to sleep on her right side. I like to sleep with hookers, uh, which is not true. It's just a joke.
It's just a joke. There's no ladies of the night.
I'm a headliner. I don't pay for sex.
I'm an open micer. I still got to pay for it. Pay for it when I can get it.
Get that goal. So I like this idea of doing your own night because if you do your own night and set a 45-day goal, set a date. I'm going to have a room by this. because you can do it. You're a sales guy,
Yeah.
right? And just give them an open loop statement. Imagine, what does your Tuesday night look like? Oh, our Tuesday nights are pretty slow. So imagine if you had an extra 30 people in here, would that are each buying a beer, would that be, do you think that would make that tape look better at the register at the end of the night when you're closing out? Yeah. Well, hi, my name's Teddy B. Um, and they're like, oh, Teddy
I
B
knew
from the
comedy.
podcast with the Joke Doctor? Oh shit. It's like I'm one of your three fans.
Right.
And and you give them that open loop, have them picture what it looks like,
Mhm.
and it's like would if you're the manager, you're the owner. I said you've got that little entertainment. How often do you use that? Oh, Fridays, Saturdays, sometimes.
Sometimes.
There should always be a show there, and it's like you're missing out. You're leaving money on the table. So what if what if I did like an open mic with some comics? We can bring, we'd bring it, 20, 15, 20, 30 people, sometimes more as it grows. And they're each like, and I will instruct them. If you're doing something here, you gotta
Gotta
buy
pay.
something at
Yep.
the bar because otherwise we don't have a room. And because that's what I used to do when I did my mics. I said, you got to put some money in the till. If we don't have a room. These guys aren't doing it out of the goodness of
Goodness
their
of their
heart.
heart.
They're doing it because they think it's going to help them make a little extra money, put some cash in the register. So let's help them out a little bit. And if they sell food, that's even better, right?
Yep.
It's even better if it's good food.
Yes.
So if you have
Definitely
something,
if it's good food.
so if you do that, you're now you're on equal. You have a mutual business arrangement rather than you going in with your hat out.
Please give
You're
me something. Yeah.
you're bringing something this you're giving this guy a solution to a pain point. We have slow Tuesdays. What if I can help you with that? What do you mean? All right, what do you got, sales guy? And you're like, what I got is I'm a comedian, right? I work at, go down to Fourth and B, name some other places that are being successful with this,
Hmm.
and say, I would love to bring one here. And I have a pretty good following of comics that I do open mics with on Zoom, and we can probably bring some comics down here and to do some open mics. We can promote it and maybe put like 20, 30 more bodies in here on a Tuesday night for do an hour and a half show
Yeah.
and maybe put an extra, $1,000 in the till, whatever, you know,
Yeah. I like
maybe
that.
and do the real math on that, give them real figures,
Yeah, not some like imaginary bullshit. But yeah.
and have them answer what number would make it more beneficial for you? Like what number seeing an increase of what number would make you go, oh, that's cool. Like when you see that, how many dollars would you like to see at that on that tape at the end of the night that says, "Oh, that's cool.
I'm glad I
That's
did this. Yeah.
I'm glad I did this."
Yeah.
800, 1,000, what number? 500,
500,
you know,
250.
250 rather than zero,
Yeah.
right? Rather than a donut, what would you like to see? And then they go, I don't know, 250 would be cool. Anything, right? It's Tuesday night. And it's like, all right, here's what I propose. Put together a package, like
Hmm.
and write it out like a little
Okay.
packet, right? And then you just hand it to them a one sheet, right? So you just look at it maybe with an image, and then so they get to visualize it and say, take those slow nights and turn them into plus nights, and do an
Yeah.
open mic.
I like that. Definitely like that.
And you go down there with your suitcase PA system if they don't already have one, a house PA. Like
Yeah.
if you have a suitcase PA system, Fender's got them for like you get them for $400, and it's like totally portable. It's like a suitcase. Carry it in there. Got speakers. My system's about 500 watts. Can basically do 250 people. It says,
Mm.
about 150, I would say.
Yeah.
And then you just set it up, do a quick setup. Boom, you're there.
And then they're doing damn thing.
And now you've got your content,
Yeah.
your video content,
It
right?
could keep going. Yes. And then I can actually like put myself out there more too.
You can
Another,
customize your content, test it out every
yep.
night.
Another goal of mine too is like to, I need to practice this more, but actually like do the Rubik's Cube while I'm telling my jokes on stage. Cause not this past Thursday, but the Thursday before last, I was doing an open mic and I was like, yeah, I'm a blur. That's a black guy that identifies as a nerd. Instead of me walking around with a basketball, I'll walk around with a Rubik's Cube, and I pull a Rubik's Cube out of my pocket or out of my sweater pocket. And everybody's all like, solve it, solve it, solve it. And I was like, fuck, man, I didn't expect for that. So I already kind of had it almost solved.
Dude, that's
so then
great.
I start solving it. And they're like, no, no, have that girl mix it up. Have that girl mix it up. So I gave it to this chick. She starts mixing it up. She gives it back to me. And I start doing it like I'm trying to solve it while I'm telling the jokes. But it's like trying to tie your shoe and chew gum at the same time type thing. And it was difficult. So I called it out. I called it, like I said, look, I can solve it, but now y'all want me to go on this extra level and tell you jokes too, where I might not be able to finish this by the time I'm done with my set. So I had a 5-minute set. The set ended up, but I was like, okay, I'll solve, because like I'll prove to you guys I can solve it. So the host he was like talking bullshitting while I was still able to do it. I solved it, slammed it on the table. They're like, oh, he solved it. People are trying to buy me drinks and shit. I was like, nah, I'm good. But that just showed me that I need to, like, if I can get that would be another gimmick of mine, because not too many people do it. And I swear, like, I don't really think it's that amazing that I can solve a Rubik's Cube, but people go shit over it. I wish women would go crazy over it. I was on the airplane and I solved it.
Dude, I was on Playboy magazine back in the 80s and 90s, for the articles. And every one of those centerfolds, they always say, what's the thing you look for in a man?
Mhm.
And number one is sense of humor. Number two has never been a man who could solve a Rubik's Cube.
But I solved the Rubik's Cube when I was on the plane, and then the dude, because there was no one sitting in the aisle seat, or no one sitting in the middle seat, sitting in the aisle seat. And I'm done solving it. So I set it down and I kind of like put my head on thing and go to sleep. Dude taps me. He's all, did you just solve it? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, holy shit. Can I take a picture? I've never seen someone actually solve it in real life. It's like taking pictures of me.
That's now that's your merch, right? Picture. It could be Rubik's cubes that you can get wholesale, right? And you could sell Rubik's cubes, Teddy B Rubik's cubes, and brand them. And now a T-shirt with the Rubik's cube, and on the back it says most 6'5" brothers carry a basketball. This 6'5" brother carries a Rubik's cube, right? And I'm doing the mirrored phrase to heighten that expectation, right? So and it's visual. Most 6'5" brothers carry a basketball. This 6'5" brother carries a Rubik's cube, right? Still got a big dick. So yeah, man, that's so like that could be a really good, think about that as far as design and merch and branding. I like that branding. When people start wanting to get involved, that's community, right?
No,
we're all there. Number one, they want to connect, right? So, and that's sociological fact, right? So, and when you know that, I think doing that is once you started, if you see, look at the video, look at my eyes when you say they were like, solve it. I was like, oh, dude, they're in. Yeah. That's like, you're doing something. Here's my suggestion. Don't do the jokes and the Rubik's Cube at the same time. Do a joke. And then the pause. 3 guys were walking to a bar. It's like,
or like, do the setup, solve it, and then do the punchline, and then do something like, oh, dude, I like
it's that. Almost like guitar comics. A lot of guitar, like if you look at, the brothers, the Smothers Brothers, they might, if you saw them live, they might go, so, do you remember when mom was like such and such? Oh, yeah, she's blah, 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 blah. Not touching the instruments now. They're just doing the joke. And then they go into a little bit of a, and sometimes they didn't play the instruments at all, right? And that becomes now a very interesting interlude. Maybe even you build into the act music that creates sort of like tension, like, or maybe stop. Now, I was, do you see the thing on such and such? And you do the joke, they get a laugh, then they're waiting for that. Now you've got tent poles, and they're waiting for each one. And now the audience is engaged in the show because it's like, change, segue to the next scene, right? So that's Seinfeld. I know a guy who used to, he basically sing songs from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, just segments. And in between, He'd say a joke. I'm kind of a mediocre guy, and basically he finished the joke and he'd go, uh, uh, in the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion. Now, did I tell you guys about the? And then he'd do
Yo,
that, and he'd
I
be like,
like that.
you
I
know,
like that.
and then he'd just do another a catchy segment of a song, and it's not even the chorus necessarily. It's a segment of the lyric that people really remember,
Hmm.
and then and they would like uh it's like, and then he'd do like the Neil Diamond one, or he'd drop in
Sweet
something. Right.
Caroline.
It's like and then at one point he does the Eminem that 8 Mile song. Uh out of the blue, right? He just starts doing the 8 Mile song from
That's what's
Eminem,
up. Yes.
and here he's an older guy, white
So
hair
that's whole
basically,
the
and they would
juxtaposition.
go, "What the fuck, dude? That was
Hmm.
great." And so the audience would come up and, "Man, I love the way you do that." It made it
Hold
catchy.
on,
It
I'm
made
not
them want
again.
to sing along with each one.
Yeah.
And so every time they're waiting for the Rubik's cube to be solved.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
what's up,
So you got to
Teddy
split it.
P?
Jokes, then
What's
Rubik's
up,
cubes in
Jerry?
between.
When
That's
you
your
have no hair,
transition.
I find this hoodie
That'll, I
is
think, practice that. That'll be a lot of
advantageous.
fun.
It got cold today, didn't it?
Oh man,
Well,
it did. And now we're actually are having fires out here in San Diego.
Oh
I did that
man.
what is it? What's that app called you had said about? It's watch not watch duty.
Yeah, Watch Duty was the one.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
that's just been going down left and right. It's just woo, woo,
Right?
woo, woo.
Everywhere
It's like, oh
you set
damn.
those notifications, they just don't stop, right? Go figure. Trump was just here, right? And yeah, actually, if you look at the data
Mhm.
of when we started getting a lot of fires in Southern California, and again, this is way out there conspiracy theory, but it ties into the personality of the person we're talking about and his minions.
Right.
And he so if you look at when the big fires started in California, a lot, when the all the many of them started right around 2015 when Trump started to run
Mhm. Mm.
for president. So, and when he's like actively doing stuff, the fires are up. Like, and when he, like 2022, 2023, when he was busy in court,
Right.
fires dropped,
Mm.
right? He was just too busy, right? This is my theory, right?
I
This is
can
my
follow that
wild
theory.
conspiracy theory. But he hates Gavin Newsom so much, and the Republicans are on a mission. And if you watch it, you could start to see the patterns. They're on a mission. They've got all their people out there saying what they need to say. See, when I wear the hoodie, it's conspiracy theory, Jerry. When they're, it's like if you watch all the voices out there, all the talking heads,
Mhm.
they've all been saying it. Marjorie Taylor Greene started with that. What's her name? And Lauren Boebert was talking about it last year about, oh, we're going to turn California red. And that's their mission, to turn California red and really attack Gavin Newsom to try to make him look bad. But if we can find that clip of when Trump got to uh, California and Gavin greeted them, there's a nice little kiss there between him and fake Melania.
Really? Good. Find that clip. Let's watch that. Let's see that.
Yeah. So first of all, let's see, that's 2 minutes in, and the other one is
Make sure you optimize for sound.
will do, because all we hear is the airplane,
Mm.
right? Now that's on Forbes, but that'll be fine. Let me share it with you. So
Here. Do it.
I thought it was very interesting. Let's see, what is that? YouTube.
Yo, Tobo.
All right, so here it is, breaking news from Forbes. Breaking news from Forbes. So here he gets out of the plane and they're talking, right? Now watch, he has a nice little kiss there and she's smiling, she's talking to him, and watch Trump. He starts tapping his watch this again, right? So he
Mhm.
gives her a kiss, and then she like smiles at him. And then let me get this out of the way there. Here we go. She smiles at him. Look, she's like talking she's not that active. I don't know. I think that's fake Melania.
It's like how they had a fake Kate Middleton.
Yeah, they don't have this, look at that face. That is not Melania's face. Look at the shape of the lips.
Mm,
She
I
doesn't
don't really
have
pay
lips like
attention to
that.
her.
She has no lips. And then
Ah,
she's got an upper lip, and that's not her. That's not Melania.
it's a body double.
It's
Ah.
body double. It's body double Melania because Melania's not going with him everywhere. You know, he's like she's basically glued to the to Baron. I don't know if Baron's back in school, but
Man, that dude shot up. Like
he's tall,
Jesus
right?
Christ, bro. Like
But
Trump's not that tall, is he? Was he
yeah,
six? He's 6'5" or six foot, right?
yeah, he wears the lifts in his shoes.
Mm,
And so he's like, so watch this little thing, a little kiss, boom, right?
right.
And they're
It's like, oh
talking,
my God,
and
yeah.
he hears her talk. Watch him slap himself. See Trump slap himself?
Hmm.
That's come here. All right, Melania, come here. And he looks, and then he looks, he's like, pat, pat, come on, bitch.
Coincidence?
Heel,
I think
Yeah.
not.
Don't be fraternizing with the enemy.
That's right. That's right. That looked too friendly. Gavin Newsom was playing that too. He was like, "Yeah, watch this. I'm going to give your wife a kiss, and she'll want this governor dick, right?" And now, see if we can get in here where they shake hands and watch Trump tries to do his classic move, right? And look at this weird thing. Like Trump is like, if you take a picture, Trump is like leaning forward. He's really look at the body language. He drew a line from his foot to his head. It's like he's at like a
He's
20,
leaning in
20
more
degree
towards, yeah.
angle towards Newsom. So
The
they do
alpha
this.
males, the alpha males would definitely be about that because they're all like, if you have to lean into somebody, then you're the one that's the weakest.
Yeah, it's like, and so watch Gavin Newsom stand straight and watch the handshake. Trump does his move. He tries to pull him in. He tries that with Putin. Putin's like, not me, bitch.
Sir.
Right? Not me, bitch. So he's like, so
Yet.
watch. He tries to pull him in. Right, and then here he goes, does the move. There he is, like trying to pull him in, and Gavin Newsom saying, watch
Not
it.
right.
See that? Look at that.
Come on, bring it in.
Little arm wrestle going on there. Because you're not going to win against me. I'm younger. I'm stronger, and
I
I'm
got
going to
more
fuck
hair
your
than
wife.
you.
But that's not Melania. Those lips are too big. She has
But
no
she-
lips. Melania has no lips.
But she wears the hat low like
Oh yeah, here's that fake kiss.
Melania.
And her knees don't buckle in like that. Look at that. That's not Melania. Her knees don't turn in like that. That's not her.
Maybe it's an android.
Yeah, that's my little take on that. That's my little conspiracy theory right there.
Well, I mean,
But so Trump comes in, no fires when Trump is here, of course. He only went to Pacific Palisades.
I was shocked he didn't go to Beverly Hills.
He didn't go up to Eaton Canyon up in Pasadena area.
Mhm.
And they were interviewing people up there, and they're basically like, "Oh, he's not going to come up and visit the brown people."
No, I don't know. Not
And
at
it's
all.
like, and those guys devastated up there in that region. And it's not just there's brown people, white people, black people, all up in that
Mhm.
region. But you know what? That region has a past. Back before, what was the year? Let's see. Let's find the year. What year was it? You'll be interested to hear about this. I was blown away. What year was it?
Well, while you're doing that, other people have especially people outside of California, they're having them some crazy conspiracy theories too. Like I told you about that lady that I had met at the airport when I was on my way back from my work trip, where she was saying that the fires was caused by some homeless person with a laser gun. It's just like, and it's always hearsay. They hear it from somebody else. And then I do a lot of sales. And so a lot of my territories out in the East Coast, and sometimes I gotta call people in the South and shit. And I was talking with this one dude, and he was just like, "Well, I heard that the fires they all started at the same time." And it's just like I just nod my head and just be like, okay, because I'm not trying to mess up my cell, but
Sure.
these
Yeah.
people be
Well, dude, yeah. It's like, what is it? That one actor who was in Matrix, what's his name?
Keanu.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves. He's got an interesting insight. He says when people say stuff, he says, "Okay,
Yeah. Okay,
that's it."
yeah, that's it.
You're never gonna bump into these idiots again, like with me, with my conspiracy theory. Just say, "Okay." I know it's out there, but it's also based in, we've seen this behavior from him before, and they're very organized. They got a mind map of stuff they've been doing for the last 45 years to take over the Supreme Court, to turn over Roe v. Wade, all that stuff. They're very organized. Democrats aren't nearly as organized.
No.
I mean, they were way ahead of the Democrats with the social media. They
They're
they've
making sure
dominated that
everything
that
Reagan.
entire platform,
Yeah.
that entire scene, that entire desert of social media. It's all like Republican driven. They dominated talk radio
They
back in the
dominated
day.
the memes to get to the younger audience too.
Right.
They know how to do
Yeah.
the memes. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. I mean, hell,
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
making rap songs for the Trump about this shit. So it's like,
Right.
of course, man.
Well, they're well-oiled machine, and so 1968 was the year, right?
Mhm.
Around that time, Pasadena was segregated.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
it's like so
Coincidence?
black
think not.
families weren't allowed to live to the west of Lake Avenue in Pasadena. And Lake is like there's a strip there, Lake, where there's all these restaurants and places and things like that. And so they weren't allowed to live. I didn't know that until the fires, because the Times did an investigation and they found out that east of Lake, the segment east of Lake, did
Mhm.
not get alerts to evacuate for 7 hours.
Damn, yo, that's
So 17
crazy.
people died in just
Ugh,
in that area because of that.
ugh, that's ridiculous.
So it's like, was that on purpose? So are there still some people that are from that time there? There always is. There's always
Mhm.
lingering, and with this new,
Bruh,
shit going on,
man.
do something about
The
that.
mental gymnastics people are making for Musk to do that shit is like, where was that energy? Like, why aren't they bringing that same energy that they have for Kanye? Like with Kanye, he used words. Like he used words. And we were always taught that you shouldn't be listening to people's words. You need to be looking at their actions. And the motherfucker did it not just once, he did it twice.
My heart goes out to you.
And people are like, oh, he just has Asperger's. He's socially awkward. What fucking socially awkward motherfucker
No,
do you
dude,
know that's
no,
gonna just walk in there and fucking
it's
hell?
no, that was if look at the psychology of it, he's hyped up that this is happening. He's hyped
Yes.
up that he made this happen. And the reason I say made this happen, call it a conspiracy theory if you want. Why else would Trump said, and that Elon, he knows those computers better than knows those election computers. That's why we had a landslide in Pennsylvania, and we won by a landslide. Thank you, Elon. Why in the world would you say that? Combine that with, we don't need your votes. We got all the votes we need.
Yep.
You don't need to vote, right? And why would he say that? He said that because they know something. And then two satellites. Again, these are conspiracy theories. I know this. I know I don't have any proof yet.
Got the tinfoil
Right?
hat on.
I got the tinfoil hat. I got the tinfoil hood on, right? That's why I'm wearing the hood, so you can't see my tinfoil hat. But it's like but the thing is, it's like I just don't fucking buy it, man.
And then the
You know?
thing too is like, if this is so innocent, if like what Musk did was so innocent, if it's such an innocent thing, why is it that everybody in Germany, like Germany media, they're not even showing what he did? They like blur it out. Like YouTube people that are doing YouTube stuff, they have to blur it out because they don't want to get demonetized. There was this chick on social media because I watch what's his name? He's this dude Shane something where he like points out the racist people in the world and then calls them out and then gets them fired and shit. And this girl who works at a salon, she straight did it, and then she was just talking about how stupid America is to think this is really something that should be worried about or make such a hoopla over. And then he calls her out, calls out her manager. She immediately sends Shane a direct message saying like, "Oh, I didn't mean to do this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just trying to point this beef. You know how they always sit there and say, I was just being ironic. I was just being funny. It's like, so if that was the case, why are you now trying to cover your ass? Why is it that you now deleted your your Instagram account because you don't want all the smoke? Like, this shit is insane.
Insane, man.
And then the ADL. Oh, guys, listen, hey, we're in a hot spot right now, and the internet just makes people so fired up. But with Kanye, they were like, yo, boo this man, take this man's money away. Freaking Kyrie Irving talking about black people are real Jews. Get this man out. He's an anti-Semite. Like, what the? And the dude did it. Like, Elon did it. Not once, but twice. And it's like nobody on mainstream media, even liberals, are all like, it is what it is. It is. At least AOC, she called out the ADL. She was like, yo, so obviously we can't believe in you guys anymore. Like, what's going on? Like, everybody's a fucking Musk just because he's the richest man in the world. Like, we shouldn't.
They're all running for cover, right? They're all trying to protect their assets. They don't want the attacks that could, basically cause an interruption in their business and their cash flow.
Capitalism, man.
So that's what they did.
Man.
If you look at Hitler, that's what he did, man. He aligned himself with the richest people, and that's what you do. And then people get scared, Costco is still like, fuck y'all. We're still staying with our DEI.
Same thing with Target. Target's still doing their DEI. I guess Walmart got rid of their DEI, but I'm not surprised. It's fucking Walmart, man. I think Sam Walton was like a big ass racist himself. So like,
probably.
Yeah, dude.
And one of the things is I talk about this with my son. My son's a prosecutor in Virginia, and I talked about and me and my trans son, he doesn't believe that this election, he believes that there was something manipulated. It just, nothing lines up. First of all, nothing lines up because the rallies, you look at Trump rallies, they were not well attended anymore, right? So wait a second, there's not the excitement's not there, right? So people weren't going to the rallies. So that would say to you, and yet Kamala's rallies were fucking packed. She packed 2 rallies in Wisconsin at the same exact time. Like, that's never happened. That's never happened before. She did one by simulcast or live stream, and the other one simulcast. Shows my age. But it was like you had this momentum and this excitement, and then on Trump's side, not so much. Then at the inauguration, why did that move that inauguration inside?
Because apparently they said because of the weather.
Weather, okay. JFK,
it was so
18
cold.
degrees. Obama, 20 degrees. He would not let those guys outdo him. Would Trump ever say, and they spent $1.5 million on a heated podium. So it was heated and he had some glass to keep him warm. No, they don't want that. He moved it indoors. I did a little thing. When they said they moved it indoors, I go, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Because I was wearing the tinfoil hat that day.
Right.
And so I was picking up all the radar signals. And
what radar signals did you pick up?
The satellite signals, the satellite chatter came into my brain. And I knew it. And I went, I'm going to check this out. I got on Google. I Googled the hotels in D.C. DC area, and I started looking at the pricing. You should be expecting $3,000 a room. The inauguration's in town, right? $1,000 a room, $700 a room, $300.
They didn't even go up.
That is not high. That's high. That's $300 is high vacancy pricing. You would expect to go there and see low vacancy pricing at 1,000, 3,000. I remember talking to, Dr. Shelby Lane, right? Shelby Lane was like, oh, my friend wanted me to go to Trump's inauguration. Yeah, she goes, yes, I have a friend who's a Trumper. And she's like, oh, you've got to come. She goes, no, I'm not going to come because you film everything. I don't want anybody seeing me there. Right? But she was looking at hotels just in case before she changed her mind. She goes, they were $3,000, $5,000 a night, Jerry.
And that was 2016?
That was 2016. And so it was not high vacancy. It was high vacancy pricing, meaning, and so I called a couple of hotels just to make sure. I go, you guys got room for tomorrow night? Or you got room for tonight? You room for tomorrow night? They go, oh, we've got plenty of room, sir. And I was like, why?
Ah,
Click. And it's like because they thought maybe I was a journalist, and then I called another one, the Hilton. I asked them,
mm.
"You guys got room? You got to get? Hi, I'm coming into town. You got any rooms for tomorrow night? So we got plenty of rooms, sir. Well, that's weird. There's inauguration, right? I was, oh man, thank goodness. I was expecting there to be, yeah. I was like, no, we've got
Everything
plenty
to
of
be
rooms, sir.
full.
I go, that's so weird. It's not, we're not sold out. And
Well,
I
could
went,
it?
ooh. So what they did was their team, the inauguration transition team, went, oh,
Mm,
this is standard for like any event, right? They check the hotels. What's the
right.
vacancy rate? And the vacancy rate was low, or the high vacancy rate, low occupancy rate. I was confused those two. And they went, oh shit. Mr. President or Mr. President to be, I'm sure Trump still had him call him Mr.
They
President.
call me
Probably
Mr. President.
they're
Call me
probably
that.
supposed to call him master, right? And he's like, call me master. Call me
Hitler the second
master.
coming.
Yeah, call me the second coming. Right. It's like, wait, I've only, what's that?
No, wait, I want to be the first coming. I don't want to be the second coming.
Yeah, what's Jim Barnes' line? You know my record for most orgasms in a night? One. I've always wanted to have more, but once I have one, I'm like, well, I'm good. Uh, so it so anyway, so nope. They moved it indoors, and that's why, because they didn't want to be embarrassed again
With the
by
low
the
turnout.
low
So
turnout.
then, based off of your conspiracy theory, then do you believe that the reason why? Because did you hear about like the MAGA people that were left outside in the cold, all left like their personal belongings and shit because they weren't able to bring those inside the Capitol. So you go back and there was all these people just leaving purses, bags, just all this shit, just left it out there. Like fuck it, it was just there
What do you mean
to
for
get in.
what?
So in order to get inside the Capitol, you're not allowed to bring in bags. So from the report that I saw on YouTube, people and this is mainly MAGA people, they basically left their bags outside. Like they just left them there so they can get inside the Capitol to see Trump do his inauguration and shit. And
So, and
then
not the
people didn't even
Capitol.
go back to go get their stuff. Whatever that
They were in
the board the cap
yeah,
the
there was a Cap Center or something like that,
yeah,
right?
something like that.
So Capital One Arena.
Yeah.
So at the Capital One Arena, and yeah, so the inauguration was only the elite people that were there.
The
You notice
oligarchs.
Eric wasn't there.
Eric Trump?
Eric Trump wasn't there.
I thought he was there because he was doing the weird hand. He was doing the weird hand gesture. They had to tap
Oh,
him to say not to do the weird hand gesture.
which weird hand gesture.
He was standing. So he was standing and he was standing like this with his hands like this, kind of like pointing, like, "Hey, look at my penis." And then his wife tapped him like, "Hey, don't be doing that." Then he just put his hands down to the side.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, because at first I was looking for the guy and I didn't see him. Okay, so there he is. Okay, Trump children. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's there. And then Barron's there. Oh my
That
God,
motherfucker
Barron.
is a
Something's
tall
wrong with
ass
that guy.
motherfucker, dude. Well, they were saying that he also has, because they were sitting there comparing, like, because I guess Barron might be autistic as well. So they're saying Barron is an autistic person. He's super chill, but then you got autistic person Elon over here.
Well, dude, you saw that view of him like rolling his head around, right? Like he's in a daze.
Oh
Did you
my
see
god!
that?
I didn't see him roll around like he was in a daze,
Oh
but
man, what's wrong? Yeah, so it's like, what's wrong with Elon? So, what's wrong with Elon's neck? So it's like, hold on.
what's
What's
wrong
wrong
with
with
his neck?
Elon? So it's like he was at the inauguration, rolling his head around, like, hold on, Elon. Rolling his head around. Hold on, he's standing there,
The
and it's like,
Capitol Rotunda. That's where it was at. The Capitol Rotunda.
yeah. So that's where the main one was. There, no,
Hmm.
no MAGAs were in there. They were complaining about it. My tweet was like, "What are you whining about? You know how to get in."
They were left out in the cold. left out in the cold while the oligarchy had front row seats and backstage passes. Though that was wild. Shit
Yeah.
was wild.
Where was this? Where it's like he's standing there. He just oh yeah, he starts rolling his.
Or freaking was it? Was that? It what's the son? Is he H or is he W? That's W, right? George W. Bush, the one who was running in 2000.
What? Now say that again.
Which Bush? Which the son of George Bush, is he W? That's W, right?
Yeah, that's W. So there's HW. He's the daddy Bush, and then
Yeah.
there's
So
like
W looked like he was on some type of edible, or maybe he was on some gummy shrooms because he was.
Oh, yeah,
I'm on that
W.
good cushion
Yeah, definitely.
alcohol.
This is good shit.
Yeah, he was like, but he was like rolling his head around. He's standing there and he's rolling his head around
Share
like
it. Let's
he's
see it.
like, I'm trying to find it. Hold on. It was so weird, right? It's like, and he's standing there like during one of the ceremonies and people are just watching the ceremony and he's like rolling his head around like he's high as fuck. He's like, oh, his eyes are rolling in the back of the head and stuff like
Probably
that.
on some ketamine.
Yeah, it looked like I don't know exactly what a ketamine high looks like, but it looks like it could be what it might be.
Or it might have been on some really good MDA. And then and then the whole thing about how, it was him extending his heart to you. Is like, maybe he needs to watch Celine Dion because she's good at knowing how to extend the heart when she thinks the heart goes on. But like, this was not extending the heart. He did the hard Hitler. It was a hard Hitler, man. It wasn't even a soft Hitler. Like Laura Ingraham, she's done a soft Hitler. I mean, even freaking the most most neo-Nazi type of streamer, Nick Fuentes. And I get it, yes, he's part troll too, but he was just like, yo, what a day. Elon straight did it. He did the Roman Empire, but no, that was a straight hell's whatever it's called, hell's Hitler, whatever the fuck. But he was just all about it. He was just like, yeah, this is where it's at. We're doing this damn thing. And then it's funny how they're sitting there saying it's the Roman salute when the Romans never really did that salute. That was something that was garnered from Hollywood that freaking Hitler took and then took that shit over. Just like how they'll sit there and say that the Nazi symbol, the swastika, it used to mean peace for like Buddhism or some shit like that before that got taken over by fucking the Nazis and shit.
Yeah, and yeah, that was so weird. It's like there's a Roman salute. I go, that's a Roman salute.
Salute.
I don't.
I've never seen Julius Caesar do any of that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anthony, or what is it? Oh my god, Anthony the Great. It's Anthony. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great never was saluting people like that shit. If he tried to do that shit to Cleopatra, she would have been like, white boy, get out of here. Yeah, man, this shit is sad, dude. Like, we are like, it's like, and the thing about it is like, if people aren't educated and if they don't choose to be educated and they just want to keep going off of what people want to tell them and shit, man, we are definitely doomed to be a failing nation. Like,
dude, we're on our way, man.
But this shit
it's
is
gonna
over
be.
with, man.
This is. We're on our. If we don't catch a hold of this and something happens, we are on our way. We're gonna be in some trouble, right?
Like I was saying, I made a comment on some Instagram story, and I was like, "What's going on here? Like, if we were to believe in this whole simulation theory that life is just a simulation, like we got the NPCs running the simulation now. We need to get back to the game master and get a reset on this because the right type of people that should be running the game are not running the game. Shit is horrible."
Let me see if you could see this. Tell me if you can see these. You might not be able to see this. This is the one where he's like rolling his head around. You could see that, right? Yeah, you
I
can
haven't
see
seen the
that.
screen right now. Yeah.
All right, so now watch. What the fuck? Get out of there! I don't want you to.
I'm on that good cushion alcohol.
See him tripping? Look, well,
I'm
fuck
on that
yeah,
good
man.
cushion
Oh,
alcohol.
Yeah, those drugs are really hitting me hard
yeah,
right now, yo.
man.
Oh shit.
Dude, as a former drug user yourself, right? So,
Oh my god, man.
oh, well, yeah, he's so fucking high. But you're right. That one with Bush,
Bush was definitely on
he was
some.
like
He was on
he
that
was
good shit. He
he
was
was
on
like a
that good shit.
middle school weed smoker
It's like, oh
trying to
shit,
hide
man.
his.
Oh shit, dude, it's hitting me. Oh, it's really hitting me now. It's
I'm
really
on
hitting
that
me.
Yeah.
good
Oh man, people
cushion
are gonna notice. People
alcohol.
are gonna notice. They're looking at me. They're looking at me.
George, get it together, George. Get it together.
Yeah, man. That's
Oh man, dude.
that's the crazy stuff.
That shit is crazy. I watched that Roseanne rap video. Like when all of a sudden Roseanne starts appropriating the fucking going to the Bahamas, getting those braids type shit. Like, get out of here, man. Get
Like,
out of here.
does that that bitch really think she's gonna make an impact?
Roseanne Barr, you would think with the name Barr, she'd be dropping bars. But those weren't golden bars.
She can
Those were
drop a
lead
single bar.
bars. She didn't drop a single bar. And
And
it
she's
is
got
like
two R's at the end. You figure that hard R at the double
the hard
bar, she'd be
R,
able to make
double
that
R.
happen.
But the thing that I find really funny and really telling is, again, with the right doing this rap music, why is it the only rapper that they can be with is that Tom McDonald? So last year in 2024, when Ben Shapiro did his thing, and he was like the number one rapper in the beginning of the year, he was rapping with Tom McDonald. And now it's Roseanne rapping with Tom McDonald. And of course, like Tom McDonald to
Ben
me,
Shapiro, that's hysterical.
oh my god! And then even Ben was caping for fucking caping for Elon, talking about Elon can't be racist. He went to Auschwitz, he went to all that stuff. Elon only did all that shit because the ADL was on his ass and he didn't want to pay the fines. So he's like, all right, I'll play the game. Even Candace Owens was trying to make excuses for this motherfucker. Like,
They all that you can always see how well organized they are. They just call all the main people and they say, okay, we need to run some cover.
yeah, diffuse this.
Yeah.
And then
And that's what they do.
And then Elon, we're playing this everybody's Hitler thing again. And it's like, nah, nigga, you did the Hitler thing. It's not a everybody is Hitler. You did it. Not once, but twice. But whatever, man. We're just gonna let it slide. We'll just let it be.
Did you hear
Wait
about
till we
this?
start putting people in gas chambers. Yeah.
This Jesse Waters asshole?
No, it happened.
So Jesse Waters on Fox News, basically, they were showing a clip of Doug Emhoff and his wife Kamala at at a grocery store,
Mhm.
and this is how desperate these guys are. And it was like he said, "What kind of husband goes grocery shopping with his wife?"
The kind where that's the only time you can have a date night. Shit.
That's right, the kind where you don't have a lot of time because you're busy, and
wanna
so
spend
it's like
some time together.
let's go to the store together.
Because they don't hate each other. That's the kind of man that goes shopping with his wife because he doesn't
That's
hate her. He doesn't.
Right? Look,
He doesn't have boy toys sneaking into the bedroom to fuck him in the ass.
Right, like
just
you
wanna
guys
have a
do there
cover.
at Fox News. We know that because as we uncover all this human trafficking, where's it point to? Where does it point to?
Always points to them.
Always
man.
seems to point to the people who are the accusers.
Speaking of Fox News, Murdoch, he lost us because Harry, Harry, he sued him for like slander and all that stuff about him, and he actually won. They settled. Settled, and now that I forget what the newspaper's called out there in the UK, but now they got to issue like an apology and all that shit to him too.
A retraction and apology, yeah. So it's like, which is odd. You never usually see that happen in a political scene. But Harry's like, I'm not having it. I'm from the UK, and maybe he starts setting a precedent. Look, I understand that politics and things like that, and celebrity and all that, but why do you want to like? Who's Harry, and why would you want to disparage him and Meghan Markle unless there's an agenda, right?
Yeah.
It's the redheaded dude with the
half
gal
black
who
chick.
is half black, and it's like, oh, we gotta cast aspersions on this, and they make up shit, and it's because they have nothing.
Because
When
Ginger
you
is just nigger.
oh shit, that's so funny, dude. Write that down. That's hysterical because that's the one place where you could drop that and it would get a laugh. Because Ginger is just, oh, I'm not gonna say it. You say it, but it's still funny. It's in my head, and then
Oh
now,
my
and
God,
fuck you
dude.
for putting it in my head now. Because I'm a redhead, you know.
I was
You
gonna
don't
say,
know
aren't you a
that.
redhead?
Yeah, you don't know
That's
that.
why me and you get along so well.
I'm bald up top, salt and pepper in my chest, but I'm still a tangerine where it counts. It is like if I go to a universal shower at the tennis at the racket club I used to play at,
Mhm.
and people would go, "What the fuck?" I remember my friend first time he ever saw me shower. Where we finished a tournament. And we're like I get in the shower and he gets in there and was like, "What the fuck, dude? You're like a tangerine." I said, "Why are you looking at my dick?" Right? I am. It's like I was at the locker room last night, 24-hour fitness to go for a swim. And it's like I go at midnight, right? Because it's like there's
Not a
nobody in
lot
the
of people
pool.
there and stuff.
And I
Yeah.
can do some laps and try to
Yeah.
get some exercise in, right? And that's and so I go and there it was and there's a lot of in the place I go it's 24, they're open 24 hours. They're
Right.
one of the few 24-hour fitnesses
That are
that are
like, isn't
open
that weird that it's
24
like it's a
hours.
24-hour fitness and half of them aren't even open 24 hours
It's like
anymore?
going to the 7-Eleven and going, no, we're only 8 to 5, you know? And so so I go there and there's a lot of Korean dudes there, right? And because it's in that area, it's right at Upper Koreatown.
Right.
And so go in there, and I go in there and I start getting undressed and there's like Korean dudes standing there and they love to bare their shit. And
Yeah.
it's like they get undressed, they're standing out there, and they do this. Like they're standing out there and like I guess they're airing out, but it's like, dude, I don't need to be a little bit discreet. Come on,
Dude,
right?
that's something
And I
I
take it off,
noticed.
and they look at me. The first thing is like, I could feel the eyeballs just go. He's red. That's weird.
Yeah, man. Like, I think it's so weird that it's like when you're guys, especially when you're in high school, you're like, yo, I don't want people to see me naked. I don't want to do any of that. But somehow once you cross like 60, you're like, yo, fuck it, dude. You in the gym, balls out. People like, I'm just like, bro, like, guys, like, just freaking
What is with these
doing
dudes
the,
with their
doing the Captain Morgan stand, just letting the
Yeah.
balls hang out and shit. Like, yo,
and it's like, and the sack is saggy, you know, and it's
backs
like,
hanging
get
down
the
to their knees
fuck
and
out
shit.
of
Like,
there,
bro,
dude.
come on, man. Nobody wants to see this, sir. Nobody wants to see this.
And then you walk in, you take off your towel, and they're all like turning towards their locker, pretending they ain't shit.
I guess
There was this one dude,
taking all the white women again, man.
and I don't care, man. I don't care what people say. Guys, it's in their heads, right? They get bothered about that. I remember that same shower at the racket club with my buddy, and we go we finish a match, and we go on to the shower, and we're showering, and we turn around, and there was this like overweight, goofy looking dude, and we're like, you know, who's showering, and he's just like his body's a mess, right? It's not like that guy hasn't worked out in a single day in his life. He was always last picked in gym class, but he's standing there and he's got this fucking pipe wrench hanging down from it. He's like, just it's like, wow, dude, you're gonna take out the
Like
the
the
tile.
Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, it's like a
nose.
snuffleupagus, dude. And we're like, and my friends are, dude, you see the sausage on that motherfucker? Holy shit! I'm facing the wall. Guy never used it in his life. I don't know.
And that's the thing, though. And it's funny, though, right? Because like even like nude beaches, there's always people that you don't want to see nude there
Yeah.
at the nude beaches.
Always.
And even all these like sex parties and these sex orgies, they're never like the sex orgies that you see in a porno. It's people that you want to see naked, but it's like, yo, fuck it, we're just gonna go. It's like it's never hot people.
Never hot people, man. Never. It's not that I've never been to a sex orgy.
I would love to
So-
go to a sex orgy, but I never.
Nobody invites you.
Nobody wants to invite me.
You know who we should invite? Teddy B. You
I-
never
I-
know. This might get out there and might
I
get
have
some
some sex
requests.
orgies with those imaginary friends of mine. We've been getting some sex orgies.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm your guy, Teddy B.
And I'm Jerry Corley, aka the Joke Doctor.
And I am AKA the Joke Doctor's assistant, working on getting myself my Joke Doctor's license. Still going to Joke Doctor school.
Every day, right? Every day we're on stage, we
all
go to
day,
school.
Every day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But we appreciate you guys listening, and stay tuned for next week's episode.